and ain't no wannabes here. With some not so nice advice for your writing career. To be clear, no punches will be pulled, but the punch may be spiked. How they like before they get on the mic. To my left, we got the mighty Mer Lafferty. And if I piss her off, believe me, she'll come after me. And her co-host Ursula Vernon on the right. Yeah, she's burning to recite a slime mold speech tonight. So settle in, folks, buckle in and boot up. Time to meddle in a way to make your writer shut up. It's hard work, but the perk is that it's fun and exciting. Facebook will still be there when you're done writing. Ditch diggers! Ditch diggers!
Coming to you live from the hastily built and still smelling of new carpet room for NaNoWriMo 2.0, it is the Ditch Diggers with Mer Lafferty and Ursula Vernon, aka T. Kingfisher.
Yo.
Hi, Ursula.
How are you doing, Mer?
I'm very tired. I'm still very tired.
So am
I finished. I finished my book last week. I made the deadline. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hit the deadline mostly. There's still tying up stuff I need to do at the end, but it was like the evening of Tuesday, and I'd been working like 9-hour days for the last week, and so I thought of writing an entirely new bit to tie this stuff together. No. So anyway, I want to ask my editor a couple of things, because I think I might have written an antagonist that I want to be redeemable, but I think I maybe put too much stuff that would make people not really want to root for her ever again. So, and since
That's
then,
always a problem.
Yeah. And since then, we've been dealing with, let's see, we're going on our 25th anniversary train trip on our 27th anniversary because of COVID, in a week. And fall is here. Thank you. I'm excited. Yeah, other things were happening, but I forget what they were. So you've had a much more interesting thing. Have we talked since Worldcon? Or if we have, I have not put it up because I am very bad. I've also got a lot of production to do. I suck at that. I'm very sorry, everyone.
I think we did, because I think I talked about being in Peru.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, the Worldcon thing is, yeah. Okay, so yeah, Ursula, what have you been up to?
Well, I had a book come out, and then I had another book come out. The Hemlock and Silver came out in August, and What Stalks the Deep came out at the end of September, and they had me do a sort of mini tour for that on for What Stalks the Deep, which started with me being in conversation with Leigh Bardugo, who is wonderful. And then and I was like, but I have been touring so much. I am tired. And also, and they flew me to Charlotte for it. And I was like, you guys realize I don't live in North Carolina anymore, so this isn't really that convenient. And they did not actually grab me by the lapels and snarl, bitch, do you know how many books Leigh Bardugo sells? But that was definitely kind of implied. So I flew to Charlotte. I interviewed Leigh Bardugo. I went to New York to meet the team at Tor and have meetings and things, which was my agent went to New York just so I wouldn't agree to things, I think, and to meet with people.
Did she bring her elevator?
I told that story at lunch or breakfast or something with someone, and she was like, "I don't tell all my secrets," but they were very nice, and everyone was lovely.
You're a bestseller. They tend to be nice to bestsellers.
It's true. I
mean, you could have probably walked in there and poop. Sorry, go on.
No, I was not going to walk in there and poop on the floor. I was
going to say on a desk, but if you're selling enough books, they'd be like, okay, look at that T. Kingfisher. So quirky. Mm.
I think I have to sell more books before I get to can poop on the desk stage.
True.
Quite frankly, and I spend a fair amount of it inebriated, but I didn't get to that stage. I did run into one thing, which was that they, like people are trying to talk to me about like business stuff and what projects like my agent Helen would ask a question like, so, what sort of audio opportunities do you have? Because I think Ursula would be great at like just nonfiction short audio if you, had like a show or something that you wanted, just because she'll start talking about, animals or weird things that happen to her, and it's very entertaining. And they were like, yeah, we're working on this short form audio thing. And I would be like, oh yeah, I did a short form audio podcast for a while. And my agent would be like, what? Why is this the first time hearing of that? And I'm like, it was 800 episodes and lasted for like 5 years. And she's like, sorry, what? And I would explain like the Hidden Almanac, which was the short form podcast. I'd explain what it was, what the thing. And then we would go to like another meeting. And she would be like, okay, so what would you really like to work on? And I would be like, I would really like to work on that one sort of vague RPG setting I had with the stuffed animals in the Ice Age. And she would be like, sorry, the what now? Why is this the first time hearing of that? And
I think it's kind of beautiful that you two can still surprise each other after the many years you've been together. That she should know, based on your weirdness and your prolific abilities, that you've got like 17 projects ongoing at any one time. Doesn't she know that yet?
And she does, but I think I think she like keeps thinking she'll hit the end of it, or that, or something, or that like. I don't know. It's and then we were like up on we did a panel while I was in town, and it was great. It was at a local the Barnes and Noble in like Union Square, and they had great people on there. It was like Nat Cassidy, who's on tour for his book, and Cassandra Kaw, who is amazing, and P. Jelly Clark, who is fantastic. I'm mispronouncing it, DeJelly, I think. Fabulous. And the nice woman who just wrote The Maiden and Her Monster, which, if you want to read a sapphic golem story, that's the one to read. And we were on this panel, and we were talking about, I don't know how the internet was haunted, I think. And old forums. And I was like, yeah, I started doing writing a book at one point that was, most of it was like forum interactions back and forth. And in the audience, my agent is like, why is this the first time hearing of this? And my editor was sitting next to her and is like, and so we go to lunch, dinner afterwards, and they're like, so tell us about this book. And my agent's like, she has 5 books next year. We had a meeting about this. And the editor's like, yes, but Lynn's like, I'm sold. Like, this sounds great. Tell me more about it. And I'm explaining my thoughts. Like, yeah, this is fantastic. And I'm like, great. And my agent's like, we had a meeting about this. There are 5 books due next year. And I was like, I didn't know that was a meeting. I thought that was an intervention, because they kept telling me it would be okay if I took time off.
To not have 5 books next year?
Yes, and it would be, if I needed more time just to ask for it. And I can't tell if that's you are writing books too fast and we can't publish them fast enough, or we are afraid you'll die. It's hard to tell, honestly. And 5 is a lot. I may die. But I mean, I had a perfectly sensible 3, and then there was a really good opportunity, and then there was another really good opportunity, and they just kept happening. So, yeah.
Is the opportunity I know about going to be public anytime soon?
February.
Okay, exciting. We should do a special episode.
We should. I'm very excited, and
Actually, we should do a really special episode. I'll talk to you about that off stream.
Yes. Anyway, so yes, and then they sent me on a tour to like 3 or 4 bookstores on the East Coast, which was great. But the one thing about tours like that is that when I remember to announce them on social media, which is not as often as I should, inevitably I will be like, I'll be at such and such in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and I will get emails from very nice people who are like, oh, Doylestown has a great X restaurant, museum, park, giant squid petting zoo, whatever. And I'm like, I'm sure they do, but you have to understand what I see is the train station or the airport, the hotel, the bookstore. That is the entirety of my experience with any given town. 99% of the time I eat in the hotel bar because I'm exhausted and just want to go to bed afterwards.
Yeah.
I did have an interesting experience in the hotel bar at somewhere in DC, though.
Oh?
Yeah, I was sitting next to a state senator, not like a U.S. senator, a state senator from Maine, who was getting a little tipsy and
those Maine politicians, man.
Yeah, and explaining how. Well, first they were talking about how China was infiltrating the legal weed trade, and they were somewhat concerned about that. And then someone, I think they were with a bunch of farmers. At least one of them had a cowboy hat. I know one of them was a farmer. I don't know about the other ones. And some of them were going on about the Dutch. And apparently, I think there was an article like recently about how the Dutch grow the most food per capita in the world. And
if Anne is around, we might be able to get a confirmation on that. Anne, are you still around? Carry on, Ursula. I just asking to chat.
Yeah. And then they had to explain the history of the East India Company to the other people at the table. And to be fair, they were entirely correct about the history of the East India Company. Explained that the Dutch were still furious at the Germans for taking their bicycles in World War II, which, as it turns out, is still kind of true. Apparently, that's a chant at soccer matches is, give me back my grandfather's bicycle.
Do they think there's just like a warehouse where they've all been carefully placed?
I have no idea what the Dutch believe about this. It may be a joke at this point, but God only knows. And then, and they're putting a few down, and I am like, okay, internet. I am, of course, live posting all this on Blue Sky. Like, okay, internet, what will you give me to say that to go over and say that if I lived in Maine, they'd have my vote? And they were at this point declaiming that Trump wanted to make their religion, their sex life, and their cooking illegal. And I went over, said hi, said that if I lived in Maine, they'd have my vote. And God help me, they were incredibly nice. I have an invitation to visit a farm in Tennessee, and somebody bought one of my books, like off the internet while I was standing there. So it was a little surreal.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I've avoided naming the name because I don't want anyone to know who it is. Although apparently there were like 4 senators in Maine it could be, and the people on the internet narrowed it down very quickly.
Ah, okay. This is fascinating to me because I attended the con in Austin. Shit, why can't I remember the name of it? I blame menopause. Fuck.
Remind me to say something about that later. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Armadillo Con. No, we did that earlier. Bubonicon. No, god damn it.
That's an Albuquerque.
Now I'm just getting more and more.
You attended a con in Austin, which shall not be named. Go on.
I did. I'm very, very sorry, Marshall, if you're ever listening to this. My brain is just... I still blamed the book as well. Anyway, yeah. I arrived there, and I thought going west a lot, I just if I'm flying to a con, I like to get there a little bit earlier if I can swing it, just to make room for either seeing people who might also arrive early, or just being able to get in and get settled, or make way for travel problems. But I got there and nobody I knew was there. And I went to the bar for dinner and sat next to a guy in a cowboy hat who wanted to tell me all about the legal weed trade in Texas. So when you started talking about your experience with the cowboy hat and the legal weed trade, I'm like, wow, this is becoming a thing now, I think.
It's an archetype.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I know what you mean about traveling and not really seeing a city, because I was excited to go to Austin. And I was, it's I've heard so many good things about it, etc. But our hotel was in like a desert. And I don't mean a literal desert. I mean like the food desert. Like their restaurants weren't
Austin
even,
is a good food town.
Their restaurants were not even open for the main dinner and lunch times. So I ended up using DoorDash more than I ever have in my life just to get food in Austin, which just felt wrong. But yeah, I mean, the con went well. I had a good time. They were very nice peoples. But yeah, the weird talk with the weed guy and the food desert were not fun. Oh no, the weird talk with the weed guy was okay. Except I was getting that, like, he's still going. And either he thinks I'm hitting on him, or I'm just not going to get out of this conversation anytime soon. And that was a little awkward, but I had to do the breakaway kind of like, bye. Not quite that blunt, but close. But,
yeah.
But yeah, and now it's fall, and I turned in a book, and you are home.
I am.
There are a couple of things to talk about.
Yes, but on the menopause thing.
Oh, yes.
I was home for like a couple of days, during which I basically went, bleh. Mm-hmm. And then Friday, I had Fright Night at the local, the Books on the Bosque, which is one of the local bookstores, put on, which had a great lineup of horror authors, and we were all on a panel together. But it was it was a really nice building, but it was very hot. And Albuquerque is warm, but like the ventilation or the air circulation or something, it was really warm. And there were like 4 of us standing around in the green room with the refrigerator open, trying to cool off. And I was we really need to do like a study on how many authors are perimenopausal women, because this is ridiculous. Yeah. And
especially because now that Gen X is getting it, we've been quiet and sullen for so many decades, and now we're just standing up going, what the fuck is going on? Why didn't anybody ever tell us about this? This sucks, and this sucks, and this sucks. And there's a woman who just had a really bad morning, and like she just sat in her car, and she describes how she's a larger woman than I am, and she was describing how her sports bra wasn't even fitting correctly, and she was just looking terrible, and she just turned on her phone and basically did this, I don't care anymore, I just don't care. And then it became this like rallying cry, and she blew up hugely viral for just posting these things about, this is a meeting for the perimenopausal, menopausal, and postmenopausal women, and we were discussing we do not care and what we don't care about. And and she's very funny. So if you could probably look her up.
The number of fucks that we have is rapidly sinking.
It decreases with every elevated degree of my body temperature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I tell you when we first moved here, it was winter, and I was there was a couple points at night when I was standing in the backyard naked in like 15 degree weather going, oh God, this is the stuff.
No.
And Kevin was like, I am concerned.
No, you didn't, but now I know. So
yes.
That's good.
It's fine. The neighbors can't see us.
No, I figured. I've seen pictures of your backyard when you were looking for the house. So yeah, I think there's two big things to talk about. One is the AI settlement.
Oh yeah, it finally came through, didn't it?
Kind of.
Or they finally agreed to it, rather.
I've been invited to join class action lawsuits before, but it's always like, yes, you want the company to hurt, and they will hurt on a number of monies, but overall, the individual person is going to get like $3. And for this AI settlement, it is not quite the case, because you will get the estimate is $3,000 per book, and there's so many caveats attached to that.
Oh God, yeah. Like I know I have to sign up to do the thing, but I'm like, oh God, that's so much paperwork. And yes, it's a lot of money paperwork, so I have to do it, but
yeah. No, it absolutely is. And so first you have to search if your books are even on it. There are some people whose publisher said they would register them with the U.S. Officially to the U.S. copyright, even though the copyright law is, if you write it, it's yours. It's immediately yours. You don't have to spend the money to register the copyright, unless, of course, there's an AI settlement to give you lots of money. Sorry?
Because why would I? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's that. I don't think it's helping out any foreign authors. So
no, probably not.
So even though your books got sucked up and bled like a vampire, or like a vampire's victim anyway, they'll get nothing. And
I don't actually know. There was an adjustment to the settlement, because I know the judge rejected the first one.
Yes.
So I don't know what the adjustment was and how it worked.
I don't think it was terribly great, but the Science Fiction Fantasy Writers of America, Association, they branched out, has a very clear description of what's going on. So if you want to learn more, you don't have to be a member. You can just go to SFWA. Is it org? I can't remember. Just search for Science Fiction Fantasy Writers of Association. And they have a lot of very clear instructions on what to do, and look and see what your books, which of your books are eligible. And I'm thinking, well, the lawyers are going to take a cut, and rightly so. So they're going to get 25%. And then I heard some people are going to be splitting money with their publishers, and I don't know what situation that is, but I hope it's not for everybody, because that would piss me off.
I haven't heard that one.
Okay. It may have been a rumor. I don't know. And then I hope everyone within the sound of my voice knows about taxes to pay on income, and I'm betting this is eligible too. So there's another 30%.
I would not assume this is free money.
Right. So that's another 30%. So yeah, once it gets to you, it's not going to be huge. And one of my books listed is the one I co-authored, so that's going to cut that in half too.
Oh no!
Yeah. He's actually. I spoke with him, and he was saying he was coming to the area because his son wants to go to UNC. And when I told him, I'm like, after all the cuts to this, I think we're going to get about $500. And he's like, that's not even enough money for us to go to a UNC game when we get there. So yeah, and it's like, you don't want to complain about free money, because there are a bunch of people getting shafted and not getting any of this. But it's like
there's so many people who'd be like, well, I would love the $500. That would be life-changing money right now, and you want to be aware of that, while also being like, but I had I think 15 books listed as stolen. So. But I'm not going to get, $45,000 out of it. I'm not complaining that I may still get, $10,000. That's a free $10,000. I mean, hot damn. Yeah. But none of us are retiring on this settlement.
No. Yeah, I think I have. Oh, and it's books before 2021. I don't know. if they stole books to train the thing after 2021. But like my most recent 3 books are not on the list. But I have 5 books. Excuse me, I have 5 books on the list. One of them is the co-authored one, and one of them is the Minecraft book. And since I don't own that IP, I very much doubt I'll get any money from the Minecraft book. So, yeah, good times. But, you know, I know people who are running after the other AI companies for the exact same thing. And now there's legal precedent. So hopefully more judgment will come in about that for the people who've trained their stuff on our books and didn't want to pay us because it would cost too much money. I would love to be so rich that I could steal something and I didn't want to pay for it because it cost too much money, and have everyone else go, oh, okay.
That would be nice.
No, I don't want to be that rich because my face would become so punchable that I couldn't leave the house unless I used some of that rich money to hire a security guard and then not pay them because they cost too much. I'm sorry.
Honestly,
I'm directly referencing Zuckerberg. Sorry, Zuckerberg did say.
Like a very small Caribbean island, and none of you would ever hear from me again.
Yeah.
I would devote my time to like going out and doing prairie restoration or paying people to go out and do prairie restoration.
Yeah.
And if anyone insulted me on the internet, I would look up all of the food banks in their immediate area and give them $1 million. And if you're that rich, I would just have to wait 10 minutes and I would have that $1 million back because that is how that kind of money works.
True. Uh-oh, it looks like we're on a... Someone says, what a timely iPhone ad. Oh, boy.
Indeed.
So we'll wait till the ads are done before we come back to the second thing I wanted to talk about. But...
yeah, sorry, we got off on a tear.
Yeah, I'm just... Okay, so all the things I usually have to tell me when we're doing ads are not apparently working right now. So, of course, saying this is useless because if you're hearing this, then you're not seeing an ad. So, I don't know what to do. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm one thing good about... I want to talk about book writing stuff. I waited too long to get really into the book. Like, I'd been wandering around for like 20, 30,000 words, just kind of getting a feel for what I wanted to do, which I wouldn't have called it that at the time. I would have called it, I'm writing my book. But I've learned that's my process, and I'm not proud of it.
And no, your process is your process. You get a book done at the end, and that's what matters.
Yes. But it was, I was astonished that I was able to maintain writing from about 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for days and days, weeks even. And
wow.
Everything else suffered, of course. No one's heard from me stream-wise, podcast-wise, Patreon-wise. I have like almost 300 emails in my inbox, and while I'm not usually inbox 0, I'm usually about inbox 30. So no, I don't think it was a sustainable thing in any way, but it made me rethink my scheduling of myself. And, someone said, you might just need one thing to focus on every day. And, if I spent one day a week writing from 10 to 6, I would get more writing done than I usually do when I say I want to write every day and don't.
Yeah, you don't have to write every day if like that's not how your process works.
Yeah.
You can write, I know people who write on the weekends. I know people who don't write for months and then are suddenly like embedded in it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, so my new thing is I'm going to try to put one thing a day and focus on nothing else. So there's going to be like one day for admin stuff and one day for podcast stuff, etc. and this is all leading up to the fact that I want to be streaming more again. And I don't think I'll stream any more podcasts because that's just more work for me on the production side. And I've kind of got a thing cooking up for... I'm planning on a new thing for Patreon that might be more work, but might also be super fun. So, yeah, there's that. But I want to talk about NaNoWriMo. It crashed and burned about 2 years ago.
I remember hearing about that, yes.
Last year was the official, nail in the coffin, but most of the shit was going down in 2023. And 2024, they're just like, yeah, we don't have any money anymore, and you guys are mean. So, and no sense of professionalism at all, And it was astonishing how little they cared about the community's very realistic complaints. But I heard that justifiably mean, says Underpub. Yes, we were mean, and we had a reason to be.
No question.
Yes. But I just heard that Chris Beatty, the creator of NaNoWriMo, is bringing about NaNoWriMo 2.0. And it is not a community site with big forums like NaNoWriMo had. It is not a thing that will gather a whole bunch of people together. I'm sorry, the municipal liaison program is not coming back. They're not doing NaNoWriMo approved or sponsored write-ins and things like that. But it is a place to say that wanting to write a novel in November is not dead. And here it's a good hub for places that you can go and experience community or, new ways to challenge yourself. But it's a nice... I know some people might be disappointed that they're not getting the community aspect back right away, but the guy thought of this in July. So, and...
That's not a long lead.
No. And I will say one thing for the... when NaNoWriMo crashed and burned is it is hard to do a worldwide community. It's very difficult. And so I understand them on that, but the way they dealt with that was not very productive or helpful. And I hear it messed a lot of people up because a lot of young writers had met other people on the young writers forums, and that's where they went to hang out. And NaNoWriMo just nuked it from space. And so yeah, it was a big mess. So there is a NaNoWriMo 2.0. It is not NaNoWriMo. It's not even a 501c3 nonprofit. So I realized the other day that I have to fucking change my will because I have a list of charities I want to give to after I'm gone. And NaNoWriMo's on that fucking list. I have to go somewhere and change my will. I have to get a notary. Oh, damn it.
Okay, now I'm really mad on your behalf. Like I was a low-level simmer for everybody who was screwed over by it, but the you have to do paperwork because of these people.
Yeah.
That's
Although I suppose if I died and they tried, my estate person is trying to give money to someone and they're not there, I'm pretty sure there's something in place to deal with that. But anyway, do you have any thoughts about NaNoWriMo 2.0 or November or community or anything else?
I mean, all of my thoughts basically come out like, in my day, we just wrote the thing in November and then posted on LiveJournal about it, so they're really not useful. Like,
yeah, LiveJournal, good times. Yeah, and what's making me angry is people saying like, "So what? Just write it anyway." And I'm like, if it were that easy, then they wouldn't have needed NaNoWriMo for the past 25 years or enjoyed it.
people like to be in community with other authors, and like not everybody has a writing group they can share stuff with. I mean, I'm lucky. I have you and a couple of other people that I can vent to, and the thing is not working, or muahaha, the thing worked beautifully. I have written 10,000 words today, and now I need to go fall down. It's nice to have people to talk to. Writing is a very solitary pursuit. We sit in a room and we type on our laptops, and it's not like, there are necessarily, if you go to a coffee shop, there are people around, but they're not working with you on the thing.
Mm-hmm. And even if they are, it's a lot weirder to go up to somebody in a coffee shop and ask them if they're writing for NaNoWriMo than to talk to somebody on the NaNoWriMo forums about it. So
absolutely. And the best you'll get is, for every, yes, absolutely, you'll get about 20, am I what to the what? And yeah. So, yeah.
I will say that during my mad dash at the end, I did go back to For the Words. Excuse me, I talk about For the Words every November because it is a excellent tool to get you going. Because if you like any gamification or any fantasy type things, they've really made the UI easier to work with, which was one of my biggest problems with it. I still don't like the fact that in order to play fully, you have to write in the browser. And what that, not that I have a browser that crashes every day, but still, like, having it just, yeah. And just, I like being in my little Scrivener world. But besides that, if you want to, you really only need to use the website for, there are two kinds of monsters. One is you write X amount of words in Y amount of minutes. And the other one is, you have to be writing constantly for this period of time, or else you'll start to lose hit points. And that's the thing I think that helps me a lot, because it gets me, doesn't let me wander off and will gather and think too hard on a subject that I could easily think up later and fix on edits. So for the second one, you'd need to be on the site. But the first one, you could just write and then post stuff and kill monsters that way. But I think it's easier if you just do it in the browser. So if you are going to try out For the Words, it's numeral 4, the words. I'm Mighty Mur on there. You can friend me. I am not sponsored. I'm not getting anything for this, but I just think it's a really fun way to look at your writing goals.
I am on the website now, and my browser is cutting off the top so that I can't read what the cute little elf is saying.
I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm sorry. I don't know.
It's okay. It's not your fault. I'm just making a note, I suppose.
Yes. But it is a fun place. Mary Robinette Kowal uses it. Ursula's my friend, Margaret Dunlap, TV writer, uses it. And several people in the I Should Be Writing community use it. So it's a fun thing. It's a new community. I think they also do like limited quests and plots during November to also sort of nod to that everyone else is writing a lot this time, so we are too, kind of thing. But For the Words, I love it, and I'll keep recommending it for a while. It's cool. Ursula, do you want to tell us what it's like to be a 2-time-in-a-row bestseller? New York Times bestseller?
Oh, yes. It's cool. Okay. I am honored to have it happen. It's it's entirely because of pre-orders. People pre-order the book, and then the book, all the pre-orders land at once, and on the day of launch. So then I am very lucky and have I have wonderful readers who, having pre-ordered, suddenly I am number 12 on the New York Times for 1 week. And then, because, you don't continue pre-orders, I fall off immediately the next week, but it's great to have made it once.
Yeah.
And there are lots of perks with that, most notably that you can put New York Times bestseller on your book.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I have won a number of industry awards, and as soon as I had New York Times bestseller, they basically punted Hugo and Nebula winner off the cover and put New York Times bestseller there. And,
oh my God, really?
And the reason, as they point out, is that a fair number of people know what the Hugo and Nebula are. Everyone knows what the New York Times is.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
I don't even know what to say to that.
I thought it was funny. Like we in the genre care so intensely about the awards and whatnot, and it's occasionally nice to be remembered to remember that the sales trump everything as far as the publisher is concerned.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, buy my book. It's out. It's Infinite Archive.
Yes.
It's space murder. More space murder.
You should totally buy Infinite Archive by Mur Lafferty.
Yes. And you can also, no, you can't pre-order. My book doesn't even have a title yet. I have a title for it. I am betting Ace is going to change that because marketing. And they know how to sell books, and clearly I don't. So it's not going to be too bad. But
I was really impressed. They let me keep the title for Wolfworm. They didn't even discuss it.
Really?
Like everything else, we go through the usual rounds and wind up with something, and eventually in despair, we're all just texting each other adjectives or nouns. But for Wolfworm, they were like, nope, no discussion at all. It's called Wolfworm.
Have you gotten big enough to where they're just not editing you anymore?
No, Wolfworm is a really fucking good title.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, it's no, believe me, no. We have been over title discussions for a number of other books, but that one, I was glad, and I was willing to fight them on it, which I very rarely am. Mm-hmm. So, but
and it's a good book. I've completely screwed up the
Did I send it to you or
no? Kevin did. I don't even know if he told you he did, but he did.
I don't think he did, but yeah, it's gross, right?
It's very gross, very much so. Well done.
Woo.
How have I have completely messed up the scroll. Good job, Mur. I'll just take it off. Sorry. But yeah, the Moon Shadow Inn is the tentative title for the Cozy Fantasy.
Oh, cool.
So, I'm hoping my editor will like it. I'm just scared because I haven't done very good first drafts in the past couple of years. So, and now I get to work on whatever I want. So that's exciting because I don't have another contract, which is not exciting, but means I can start making new stuff and sending them to my agent.
Absolutely.
I also have a book that I want to write out of spite, as you have told me is a good thing to do. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that. Yes,
you should absolutely always write spite books. Definitely.
Yes.
Late Hound, that's the plant guy. You know him. He was just petting you earlier. Lacey has decided there is a alarming stranger who has been in the front yard pulling cheatgrass for the last 6 hours. But suddenly now,
no. Rosa does the same thing, especially if it's like her family outside. They're like, "Wait a minute, what are you doing? You're out there without my protection," and then she'll bark. I think that's what's going through her head. I don't know.
Dogs, man.
I know. Well, we are at our time. Is there anything else you want to talk about or make noise about? I just dropped something. Or just want to tell us where to find you online, Ursula?
Oh, I'm on Blue Sky as T. Kingfisher, and Red Wombat Studio will tell you anything you need to know about books. At least it would if I had updated it recently. A lot of books came out. I couldn't keep up.
Maybe you should get your assistant on that.
Oh God, I loved him. I don't know if I want to make him deal with WordPress. That seems like a cruelty.
Well, you can always ask. And you can find me at Merverse.
Do you think he would fill out the class action stuff for us
Probably.
if we paid him?
I mean, I've already filled mine out, but if you ask him, I'm sure he will. We share an assistant, and he's delightful. But yeah, you should ask him. Lean on your assistant more. That's what I try to tell myself. And you can find me at merverse.com, and we live stream this on Twitch on alternate Mondays. Usually we try 3 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/MightyMer, or you can check out the podcast. Just search for Ditch Diggers podcast. It's pretty easy. I don't think anybody else has tried to take over it. I think there are
If they have, we'll fight them.
I think there are other podcasts called Ditch Diggers, but I think they might actually refer to ditches. So we'll see.
I'm just delighted by the concept that like professional ditch digging is such a thing that they have a podcast.
The internet is a weird fucking place. You know, there's the guy who drives around in the winter on the Outer Banks and tows people who've gotten their car stuck in the sand, and he films it, and now he's like got lots of views on YouTube because he films trying to tow people's cars out of sand in the winter.
Oh, God, Courtney Milan posted one the other day who was a dude who was showing people how to spread glue. And so that, like on a piece of wood panel, so that it would go on evenly. And the trick was a large gauge threaded bolt. Like you run it through the glue, and the lines, like it pulls the glue like perfectly. It was amazing.
Wow, that's like magic,
right? I was like, wow.
I'll have to see if I could look for that link. Yeah. All right, so thank you guys for showing up and joining us, and hopefully we'll see you not in 2 weeks because I'm traveling, but in November we will be around. Right, Ursula?
Yes, I should. I actually get some time off until like the end of November. And by time off, I mean I have to write the books.
Yeah, you're not doing anything but writing?
Yes, yeah. I don't have to travel. I don't have to, have events. I can just write the words.
Awesome. This podcast was produced under Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives License. Music provided by Devo Spice, devospice.com.
Ditch Diggers!
This is a free podcast brought to you by the kindness of our patrons. If you would like to also be kind and a patron, go to patreon.com/mightymur.